back. So let's try and look at a very crucial problem we have right here. Actually, right now what I want to do is kind of bind these two together by saying a customer object actually should be put inside an order business object. So I want to bind these two together. So when I create the customer object, I'm going to make a local variable I just call cust like this. So the service is always returning like a customer with the actual new ID, right? I'm going to use that. When I create the order down here, I'm going to do a comma, then I'm going to add the customer to my order now by actually using that reference up there. So now these guys are bound together, and let's try and run the program to actually see if we can now go from the null value here and actually go into an actual customer. So I'm starting the program. Now after a bit of time, this pops up, and it actually means that my program crashed. When you see stuff like this where it pops up and just without a breakpoint stops right here, your program crashed. It crashed during startup. We don't know why. Let me try and show you. You can look at your log. Let me try and zoom here. So this is the log. You also have that available in Windows. There's nothing in here about the crash. I can't find any information about the crash during startup. But there's a way for us to actually initialize the log during during startup crashes. So that's what I want to do, and this is crucial that you guys initialize this. You need to do it in your system. So let me just try and do a continue here to show you what happens. Kaboomy, I get this .NET quit unexpectedly. Reopen, no, just ignore it. And I'm out of it. But the problem is right here, we need something right here to actually make this work. We need to say log stuff during startup. So even though we start up, I want to see the exceptions if any exceptions happen. Because the exception is triggered right now, I know that, because I created a customer right here and I tried to use him down here. And something is going wrong here because that's the only change I made. So something is wrong right here, but what is it? So going back to the program, I'm going to just add a line right here that's going to help us fix this. And the line I'm going to add is this guy right here. Right after I do this create default builder, I do a dot capture startup errors equals true. This is not set as default. I don't know why, but it's not. Very crucial that you guys get that line in there, because then when you do crash on startup, you can see what's going on. So let's try and run this again and see if I can get some information about why I crash right now during startup. So there we go. After I started now, I get this page, right? That's actually a lot more informative than nothing, right? So here it says, an item with the same key has already been added, throwing this exception right here. So it seems that we are trying to add something that's already added in the database. What could that be? Well, let's try and have a look at the code again. So inside the code right now, if I go into the startup, which is the only place I change stuff, I'm adding a customer right here, and now the customer has the ID of 1. The problem with the entity framework is when I go down here and add an order with a customer of ID 1, the entity framework isn't intelligent enough to say, okay, he's probably already in the database. It tries to add it once more. That's the problem. And we're going to fix that in the next lesson. But again, the goal here was to show you guys debug on startup. You need that. So set that variable, go into your program, add this line to make sure that you guys get the crash errors. We don't want to start and not know why it crashed. We want to have some kind of error page, and that's what this guy is generating for you. See you in the next lesson where we'll fix this issue. Have fun.